1,000 years, we've kept it hidden. The secret history of Transformers. Here, on Earth.
I definitely was wondering how on earth the world of Camelot and the Knights of the Round Table were going to fit into the Transformers universe. From what I know, it's a pretty cool story.
To save our future, we must unlock the past.
In our opening scene, you're in medieval England.
We go back to 42 AD with King Arthur.
When I was told I'd be playing like a Saxon, I just kind of put two and two together. I thought, Prime goes back, things aren't right, goes back, realises he's gone back to the wrong place, someone's found something, and then the world blows up, Michael Bay style.
And now the greatest mission of them all, to turn the tide of human history.
Every time we've done a new Transformers, we really have to ask ourselves if we have enough ground to cover, if we're all still interested, if the mythology will open up further. And Michael actually was the one who said we should get a bunch of writers together, we should educate them on where we've been in the franchise, and see what areas they might be interested in exploring further in the mythology.
In our movie, Operation Skyfire, we're gonna try to answer one of the great mysteries of World War II.
The writer's room was a room at Paramount on the back lot. It was a bunch of writers, about 12 of us. And it began with Hasbro coming in and kind of taking us to Transformers school to try to get us up to speed with all the things that have happened. Then after that, we sort of laid out a timeline and found different places to do different movies throughout history. So every writer took a movie and wrote up a treatment for it. And we got to make really cool artwork for it and pitched it to Michael and pitched it to Steven Spielberg, which was really fun.
Ours is a coming-of-age story set in World War II. And as we've all kind of been talking about, one of the coolest things we think about the franchise is how Transformers intersect with real human history.
There were two writer groups who sort of touched on interesting areas. One was Art and Matt, and the other was Ken.
Mine is called Transformers Knights. It's set during the Dark Ages. It mashes up the fictional stories of Arthurian legend, actual English history, and the life of Merlin the Magician before he met King Arthur, and of course, transforming beings from Cybertron.
Right. Okay, good.
I got a call that said, would you want to write Transformers 5 with Matt Holloway and Art Markham? And I said yes.
Ken was working on a pure Arthurian legend tale, but with Transformers in it. And then ours was something that took place in World War II. So one of the things that we're doing in Transformers 5 in the last night is peeling back the curtain on the secret history of the Transformers on Earth, and that they've always been here. For example, we see a flash of Bumblebee's last mission in World War II, where he was in a battle with Nazis. So in this movie, there are logical explanations for the greatest myths and legends of Earth's history.
This hall, which is at Bamborough Castle, is the sum total of the knowledge of the Transformers on Earth. We made over 50 images that have Transformers as a part of history. I had the idea that this was a genealogy that had to be traced, but I needed it to come from Merlin.
This is 40 generations.
It's 40 generations.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Michael, I think, was a bit gobsmacked probably when he saw how much we did.
Are you Samuel James Witwicky, descendant of Archibald Witwicky?
When you think about the first movie, Sam Witwicky, Shia's character, his great-grandfather was an explorer who had found Megatron, etc. We realized that the Witwickies were integral to this larger thing. So our mythology is merging more and more with the larger mythologies.
I really like the Knights, and I like what they represent. We will see Arthur, we'll see Merlin, we'll see the Saxons, which are all pretty extraordinary looking.
From a design standpoint, they were interesting in that they needed to look ancient, but they still needed to look like Transformers. They needed to look a bit like they had armor, as if their armor inspired actual English armor.
We fight for the human race, for all that is good in mankind.
No sacrifice, no victory!
No sacrifice, no victory!
For this movie, Michael has found an interesting way to introduce some of the origin of the story, but also introduce and create new characters. I have an interesting bloodline. I am the last living relative of King Arthur.
Cade was going to be this last knight, this chosen person. How do you show that? What's a cool way to show that? Well, we have this idea that he'd have this talisman that looks like something that would be at home on an Arthurian knight's, crest. And that's exactly what it is, because that's ultimately what we learn in this movie. That's how the knights got their armor to begin with. It's all Cybertronian.
So this is our talisman that Cade recovers from the crashed ship in the destroyed city. It's based on the Cross of St. James, and again, a design by Jeffrey Beecroft, our production designer. And this talisman turns into Excalibur, our Cade version of Excalibur. Again, the design of the talisman is found throughout.
And rolling. And action. Yeah!
Priscilla John put an array of fantastic English actors on tape for us, and each one of them had a great take on the character. And Michael and I went to London, and we saw all of them in person and, chose the group that would be together.
I was approached by the casting department in the UK, Priscilla John, and they said, do you want to come in and have a read? So I did. Thought the audition was one of the worst that I'd ever done. Thought I'm never, ever going to hear from that again. And bearing in mind that I've just played King Arthur in another production, I thought, once those two things come together, it's like, this is never going to happen. And lo and behold, about 4 weeks later, got a call, went in, met with Michael, and we went in groups of 3, Arthur, Lancelot, and Percival. Played out the first couple of scenes of the movie. And, yeah, I got the job.
They have their name for it. We have ours.
Staff of Merlin.
Yes, bequeathed to him by an alien race.
My character is a direct descendant of Merlin. And Merlin is being played by Stanley Tucci, who has been in the previous movies. So that is a brilliant little Easter egg moment.
No! Look! I kept your secret, just as I promised. I told no one of your existence, no one!
With Merlin, it was all a secret for quite a long time. Found out about 6 weeks ago that it's Stanley Tucci, which is incredibly exciting because he's a wonderful, wonderful actor.
He crops up in everything, and yet it doesn't become about Stanley Tucci. You believe that character, and I think he's one of the finest character actors out there at the minute.
Good men died while we waited for you. Noble men.
All right then, Percy. You bring the dragon next time.
So Stanley Tucci, very big fan since Devil Wears Prada. I know it's kind of strange coming from a man dressed like a barbaric Saxon, but it's one of my favourite films. I think he plays a wonderful role in it as well, and it's very, very exciting working alongside him.
Oh, yes!
Once Michael said that Stanley Tucci was going to be Merlin, I couldn't think of anything else. I'm like, this is going to be perfect. The great thing about this Merlin is, I think everybody's thinking of the Merlin, this sagacious guy with the long beard. But immediately when Arthur says, no, Merlin will be here, Percival says, he's a drunk, he's a charlatan. And we cut to him, and that's exactly what he is.
3, 2, 1, and action.
Salt. Oh, well. He's going to have to wait. Now, or does never? Oh, come on!
Help you?
Oh.
That's a nutcase.
He's a hilarious character that Stanley Tucci is just going to absolutely knock out of the park.
The battle sequence is one of the most complicated sequences that we undertook on the franchise, I would say, not just on this film. It was really exciting, actually, and a fun part of the movie for all of us.
It's an end of civilization, end of the world kind of fight. It's like this small group of knights led by Arthur up against this massive Saxon horde. That's basically, if they win, is going to destroy civilization as we know it. So it's one of those moments in history where everything could change depending on which way it goes.
There are no spells, there is no magic. We retreat, live to fight another. No! We fight! Without sacrifice, there can be no victory.
This incarnation of Arthur is battle-hardened, battle-ready, and it looks epic. All the knights, when you line them all up together, look absolutely amazing. It's an incredible job from the costume department.
Everything couldn't have looked better, I think. You know, Lisa Lovers has done an incredible job of getting us all to look as we look, and we're very lucky to work with Yolanda, you know, the head of makeup, and with Ed, who are both fantastic. The jobs they do at, you know, originating these looks for us.
Second wave!
This is film costume, and it's still heavy. Then you think, well, hold on. Back then, this must have been real. Must have been about 60 kilos worth of weight. If you fall on your back, that's it. You're done. That's you. That's the end of your battle, your war. Finished.
You can't get up?
No, you can't get up, no.
The original designs, Michael had come to me to draw some of the knights' costumes. And so we did. And we did it in collaboration with Lisa, and then she took it from there. But I brought in Richard Anderson, and we created this whole army, both Saxons and the knights.
Just incredible. Like, the sheer size of it. Some of my favorite films have been shot here. So to be here and then to see it, just the incredible hard work and the detail that's gone into it, and then realize how many people are about to land on it today. It's just incredible, just amazing.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, I think there's still a load more guys to be coming down. It's hundreds of extras and stuff, and yeah, so it should be a lot of crash, bang, wallop, and, you know.
As he's coming in, boom, 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 boom. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Originally, we were having 100 guys on horses, and we were going to digitally put the rest in. But when it got closer to the shoot, Jeffrey was showing Michael all the overheads of Bournewood, where they shot Gladiator, and Michael saw the scope and says, have 200 more guys, 300 more guys. And by the end of the day, we got 400 guys on horses.
There's a bit of a debate about how many people are on set today. I think it's 1,000 in total, that's what I heard. So it's the biggest day on set that I've ever done, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, there was, I think, 65 horses. I think we had over 40 stuffed horses, and there were 600 Saxons, and I think 100 knights. It was quite an undertaking to shoot that in 3 to 4 days.
They're way over there and way into a valley, okay?
Michael was reticent about doing this scene. It was quite large and got bigger and bigger as we went.
Great, let's shoot it.
The battlefield was created with me, with Roger Holden and Sebastian Schroeder, and Roger was able to kind of destroy this amazing landscape, and we were able to create this incredible playground to do this battle between the Saxons and the Britons.
We have sort of that valley of death that's like right here behind us, which is sort of the main narrow pit where they all die and then slaughter each other. We're in here for 3 weeks to dig it all up and bring in like stumps and trees and make sure that we get all the greens out. The whole scene is impressive anyway, but when I saw the scorched earth, we know what the scene is, and you think, oh my God, that's actually our scene. That's where we are going to be fighting. This is where this is going to happen. It's actually pretty impressive.
3, 2, 1, go!
It was a huge production, and Michael really got some amazing footage in camera. So the biggest addition that visual effects did was where the dragon made out of the knights comes in and lays waste to the bad guy hordes that are trying to kill Arthur. It was a much different design because it's not based on a car. It's a wholly new creature that we designed for this one.
In terms of the choreography of the battle, you know, we have a great stunt coordinator, Mike Gunther.
Well, this is a battle sequence, and I had never been a part of something like this before. So this scene is the one that's the most overwhelming because you have so many people. They're coming in and they're colliding. You have horses falling. You have huge explosions. So you're trying to keep everyone safe.
There's not that many people that get to shoot medieval battles, so not only is it new for Michael, it was new for Jeffrey, our designer, and me and my whole team. So, you know, Mike and I were kind of kicking around the idea of what's it take to choreograph a major battle like this. So we brought Rob Inch in, who's worked on War Horse and World War Z and some of the Star Wars movies, and we felt he was a good complement to our team, you know, to help organize and choreograph horse falls, sword battles, archers, and all of that stuff. So he's done a great job working with Mike Gunther, you know, to pull that off.
They wanted to recreate a medieval battle like a King Arthur versus the Saxons, but a super gritty version that was properly edgy. So we were seeing people get on fire, we were seeing people getting fired at by trebuchets. They wanted a really cutting-edge battle sequence.
Here in the background, there's sort of explosions going off, and you can hear the sort of thunder of hooves as all the horses are kind of riding into battle. That's all the stunt guys.
So the horses stunts, we do work very closely with the stunt department, and we build it up slowly. We do just the hero portion of that fight and whatever's required, and then we build it up. And basically we layer. So we start with the bare elements. Once we make that secure, everyone's happy, we layer up a next element, which might be the people around him, and we sort of just keep building it up from fire, smoke. So the horses, he understands what's going on. He's never just thrown into the middle of it all.
Rolling!
It's a bunch of battle sequences. We take it in little pieces, so we do like little vignettes, and so we have like play 1, play 2, play 3, play 4, and we just, you know, when he wants something, we say, hey, we're running play 2 here, and that means, hey, we're gonna ratchet 3 guys, and we're gonna light 4 guys on fire. Play 1 might be we're ratcheting 1 guy and no fire. Play 5 might be arrows, you know, they're going down. And I think, you know, Rob has come up with a great plan to be able to execute that with his guys.
Give me a little fighting right here. Come on, guys. 3, 2, 1, and go, guys. Right in foreground.
They've explained some of the key points of the battlefield scene. I believe we've got a big wrecking ball with spikes that's going to come in and fire death.
Jeffrey Beecroft came up with this great idea of these giant balls that the trebuchet, a catapult through. They're 6-foot diameter balls with looks like a ninja star made out of wood and then wrapped with rope and put tar on it and light on fire. And Terry Glass and the guys had 2 cranes 450 feet apart and hung this ball off it. And you'd light the ball at one end, wrap it with quarter cable, release it. So it's flying down the cable, very violent, hot flames coming, ripping right towards the whole scene. We had 2 guys flying in the air as the ball came right behind them, blowing up. Oh, it was wonderful.
There's a lot of oh my God moments on the set. The actors are involved in the set, and we're all part of the process, and we're all in it together, and I think that's fun.
It's very exciting to do a medieval battle. The costumes, the weaponry, the special effects, the explosions, you know, the trebuchet, fireballs was very complicated and took us a long time to get ready. Happily, it's gone very well, thankfully.
It was quite an experience, even for me and all the movies I worked on with Michael, to be there during that battle.
Burning fire, burning diesel, I mean, it's just explosions everywhere, debris, helicopter, color smoke, fire. It was a great way to finish the movie.
The battle worked really well, I must say.
The machinery that goes into creating a movie like this is astonishing. And so seeing all of that come together and all the sort of man hours and the blood, sweat and tears that have gone into the last sort of 3 or 4 months is, you know, yeah, it's going to be awesome.
I'll do it for you. I'm here for you. Ready?